Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up Podcast. Today is our penultimate couch scout position. We're doing the interior defensive line. That means edge rush next week. That's Nick. I'm Theo. You know where to find the show. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you get your podcasts. Smash those like buttons, subscribe, rate, review, share, all that good stuff. We appreciate all the support. Especially new users. If you're listening, you're here. Just subscribe to the show, like the show, share it, pass it off to a buddy. How you doing today, Nick?
Better than I was last week, but still not recovering. But we're getting there. Hopefully by draft day, I'll be 100%.
Yeah.
You got 2 weeks, dude.
You still got, so. Yeah, it is Thursday, so we are, as of this recording,
2 weeks.
Exactly 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. Twitter, @DraftedUp_pod. We're there as well. If you want to give a follow, I try to be a little active on there as much as I can, but right now it's just me posting the show. I know you're excited for interior defensive line today.
Big beef boys, dude.
Meat man.
Probably the deepest. This and running backs probably the deepest spot in the draft.
I think edge is a little deeper than interior.
I'm talking whole defensive line in general.
That's fair.
As all one lump sum group.
All right. You want to dive right in? Anything you want to talk about before we?
Nah, I'm good.
We go on. All right. We're gonna give our top 15. So, Nicholas, who are your interior defensive linemen, 15 through 11?
Alrighty. Here we go. Big beef boys. 15, Deion Walker from Kentucky. 14, Jordan Phillips from Maryland. 13, Jamari Caldwell, Oregon. 12, Tyrone Ingram-Dawkins, Georgia. 11, Joshua Farmer, Florida State.
Okay. That's not that bad. 1, 15, 14, 12, 11.
Not that bad. Well, thanks for your opinion on that, guy. It's my list. I think it's not that bad either.
In terms of discussing, I got 2 guys in there. 3 guys in there. The same. So at 15, I have J.J. Pegues from Ole Miss. At 14, I have Jamari Caldwell from Oregon. At 13, I have Jordan Phillips from Maryland. At 12, I have C.J. West from Indiana. And at 11, I have Joshua Farmer from Florida State.
Cool. I have Therese right outside my top 15. I have him at 17. I do like his game a lot, so I get it.
Did you not watch C.J. West, or is he in your top 10?
Oh, I didn't hear you say to C.J. West. He is 16. He is first man out.
All right. Deion Walker is my 20. He was on your list. And then Ingram-Dawkins I have as an edge rusher. So I will let you lead the way on that discussion with him because I have not done my report on him. He is actually my next watch.
He is probably the guy I typed out the most because I figured he wasn't going to be on your list. And I actually do have a lot on Deion Walker as well because I figured I know you hate him. So
I have stuff on Deion Walker. I've done his report. I
know, I figured, but he is the guy I typed out the actual most for.
Yes, he's not my cup of tea.
Just because he's going to be the hardest to really evaluate, to be honest.
Yeah. So we want to start with Walker, and then I'll let you talk way about Ingram-Dawkins.
Yeah, we could do that. You want me to kick it off with Walker? You got
Deion Walker, 6'7", 331 pounds, 10 5/8 inch hands, 34 1/4 inch arms, 84 1/8 wingspan. Unless you look at his pro day, then it's 84 7/8. So I'm going to lean the pro day number. So almost 85 inch arms. He ran a 5.35 at his pro day, a 320-yard split, 1.910, 25-inch vertical jump, 8 8 inch broad jump, and then 22 bench press, which I'm not too worried about because long arms, a lot harder to do the bench, but big, huge.
Huge. He's a huge human being, dude.
rare height, weight, length combo. Like, his size is incredible. And, like, that's why I think he's going to go a lot higher than, like, consensus might have him, or right around consensus. I'm not sure where he's at consensus-wise right now. I just know I'm lower on him.
Wherever he goes is going to be tremendously lower than where he was projected to go.
That's true. He was a top 10 guy coming into
his 2023 stuff had him easily a top 15, top 10 guy. And then this year kind of just, it's cold, dude. It's hot and cold.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
He's got a basketball background. Go figure. He gets off the ball a little quicker than I thought he would. He's got good feet as well. But leverage ain't his game, but obviously it's 6'7". It's going to be hard to gain leverage. But my favorite sight was at the Senior Bowl when 5'10" Willie Lampkin, the center from North Carolina, was keeping this dude in his box. And sight to see because, 6'7", 5'10". Leverage is king, though, and nobody used their leverage as good as Willie Lampkin, which you gotta when you're an offensive lineman under 6 feet tall. Top heavy, plays high. Sometimes his feet, like his footwork's good, but sometimes they kind of gets tangled up.
It stalls out.
Yeah. And I feel like his stamina, not great. I noticed at times, like later in games, he was just kind of slower off the jump and not as quick as he was at the beginning of the game.
For that.
Okay.
He plays so many downs.
He does.
He plays over.
Ton.
He played almost 600 snaps this year. In 2023, when he had 50 pressures from the defensive tackle position, he played over 700 snaps. He is playing every single down as a dude that is 6'7", 300 plus pounds. Yeah. He's way too big to be playing this often. He needs to cut his snaps down to keep that stamina at bay for sure.
Yeah. I think he's a rotational guy at the next level.
He's a rotation guy.
He doesn't miss a lot of tackles. Those long arms, he puts them to use. Decent character as well. He had set a goal when he got to Kentucky that he wanted to be a captain, and he got that his sophomore year. So good teammate, good upper body strength, obviously huge body. Doesn't miss tackles. Like he's fine. I just don't think he translates well to the NFL. I think, like, I get it, the rare size, height, weight, all that good stuff, but like I just don't know how well, like, I guess it does. Eric Armstead's really big. Like, I think that's his ceiling, is a type of career like Eric Armstead, but I just think he's too the stamina issue. So he's right off the bat to be a rotational guy. He's not a guy that's going to be able to play all the downs, and I just, he needs some refinement on his technique. Sometimes he just kind of tried to barrel his way through and not use any sort of technique there.
Yeah, he's all traits. He's a true traits guy. The definition of hot and cold is 2023 tape. Was unmatched, dude. 50 pressures from the defensive tackle position. His 2024 was not that at all. The Ole Miss game this year, though, I did find him looking very well. He looked really good versus Ole Miss. At times in that game, he looked the best guy on the field. And Ole Miss has a lot of guys in the draft this year, so it's pretty high praise. And his team did get the upset versus Ole Miss, and he was a big part of that. He contributed a lot. But it's all developmental from this guy, and if he could be more consistent, he's so inconsistent with his play. And I get his pad level is not great, but he's 6'7". His pad level is never going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to play low. Like, I'm not expecting that from him.
No, I agree. He's a huge human, 6'7", so he's going to play with a high pad level. He plays a little bit extra tight as well, so that also makes his movement a little bit harder. But yeah, what we've seen out of this year was like 50% of what we've seen out of last year. He doesn't really give it his all every kind of down. Like, he doesn't play with his heart. And that's part of the stamina thing. He's too big to be out there playing 550, 600 snaps a season. That's going to wear on a dude that's 6'7", 350 pounds. But I do like him as a rotation guy. I think he's going to come into the NFL. And it's going to be better than last year. It's not going to be his 2023 stuff. That's just not going to happen because it was so good. But I think he's going to find some type of happy medium in between these. He just needs a guy to light the fire under his ass, dude, to be more consistent.
Like, I'm not even sure where his range in the draft starts. Like, if he goes top 100...
Mid-second? I think it's like mid-second.
So
I agree.
I would lean more towards third round to fifth. I
think it starts mid-second, but it could literally go until the middle of the fourth, late fourth, early fifth.
Mm-hmm.
His window is huge come draft
Yeah.
day. It's literally if someone believes that they can get this guy and they can get the most out of him and get close to his 2023, I think he's going to be close to a top 100 pick, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of lean that way as well. I think we're looking back into the third round to the early fifth as his range. But again, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets picked earlier than that or later, because it's tough to tell how, like, we're obviously, we've said before, we're not in interview rooms and in on everything on how other teams feel about him. So it's just going on our eyes and where we just kind of project everything. I'll go with my 15, JJ Pegues, Ole Miss,
Okay.
6'2", 309, 9 3/8 inch hands, 32.5 inch arms, 79 1/4. Another guy whose wingspan is 79 7/8 at his pro day. Ran a 5.15.
Dude, there's real quick. There's so many guys that their arm lengths are coming in not way big, but bigger at their pro day compared to the combine. Something was wrong with the combine measurements, dude. Like, there was 26 offensive tackles that came in with longer arms at their pro day than their combine. Same with defensive linemen, dude. These guys are getting their measurables were wrong at the combine. Someone really messed up, and that's a big deal, dude. If it was a couple guys here and there, it's not a big deal. But arm length matters in the NFL. So if we're getting a faulty number, that could affect some of these guys' draft status.
Yeah. Ran a 5.15, 3.0, 20, 1.8, 10-yard split, 27.5-inch vert, and then 4.89 short shuttle, 7.73 cone, 23 bench reps. JJ Pegues, man, the first line I have written in my report
He's a fun watch.
Is JJ Pegues is cool. Like maybe he's got aura, as the kids say. He's built diff. He's not. He's built.
Stop it! Oh my God, we're back.
He's built like a regular person.
This guy's got the
sidebar.
Most hipster.
I was watching a cooking competition. The guy, one of the cooks, was just like, "I'm built a little diff," and I'm like, there it is. There it is.
He's built diff, dude.
But yeah, JJ Pegues, he's so cool. At his pro day, he was announced as offensive weapon JJ Pegues.
I love that, dude.
Some green things in terms like positives. I love his change of direction for how big he is. He's got real good quickness, real hot motor, urgent play style. Like, he's just always playing like his hair's on fire. Natural feel for angles in the running lane, and in terms of lanes, if the quarterback is on the move, he's got a good feel of tracking those down. He recognizes screens really well. Really active hands, good hand movements, crosses, cross chops, double hands, swipes, all that kind of stuff. And then my favorite little stat for JJ Pegues, short yardage back, 11 first downs, 10 broken tackles, 7 touchdowns on 21 carries in 2024. In Auburn,
a true generational talent, a two-way player. You never see it.
He started at Auburn, and he was a tight end in 2020, where he had 7 catches for 57 yards. And then in 2021, he moved to D-line and then transferred to Ole Miss after that. But great character. He received the 2024 Chucky Mullins Courage Award, and then he changed his number to 38, which was Chucky Mullins' number, apparently. But that's awarded to the Ole Miss defensive player who embodies that guy's legacy and courage and leadership and perseverance and determination. Like, really good teammate, real fun football player. And like maybe that's why I have him higher, because I just really enjoyed watching him. Power was inconsistent, wasn't fully there all the time. He needs to, play with a little bit better technique. And I noticed at times he's not overly gritty or tough. He's just more kind of just trying to run around and make a play. He doesn't really have a rush plan. Like, he's kind of just one try, and then he just kind of gets caught up. And especially with double teams, if double team gets him, you can wipe him out of the play for good. Balance as well. I noticed there was times where he could have had a sack or a tackle for loss, and he just tripped or fell or just lost his balance.
His body control was weird to me, for sure. For a guy that's a short distance back.
For a running back.
It's really weird. Yeah, it was very weird to me.
But yeah, I think NFL teams are going to really like him based off his character and his willingness to just be a team player. He played a little bit of edge, so he could do that.
I was going to bring that up.
Fullback. Getting him his own carries. He's going to put the work to be a team player and be like a functioning part of the team. Moves pretty well, natural athlete. Doesn't have the best pass rush plan or rush plan, but I love his versatility. I think that's his biggest draw, and I think he's going to be a guy who's probably, you're looking at a fourth interior defensive lineman in a rotation who can spot start or play some offensive snaps here and there. But I think he's going to be a guy who's just going to kind of always be on the depth chart. Maybe, spot start injury, be the third guy. But I think you're looking at a fourth interior guy as he develops and kind of refines his technique. And hopefully a coach can unlock that, because the athleticism's there for him to be an effective player in the NFL. It's just a matter of him putting it all together, which doesn't always happen. I know that's the case for most of these guys, but you at least see the flashes on the tape in my eyes.
Yeah, no, I agree. My biggest weaknesses for him were, I found that he was way slower after his first get. Like, he's quick off the ball, and his hands are moving, his feet are moving, and then he kind of just slows down and gets into his routine. Yeah,
long speed's not there, baby.
And he just needs to play with way better technique. But, dude, I love his versatility down the line. He can play at all four spots on the line. He can play a 3-4 edge. Yeah, 3-4 edge, 4-3 interior. He's very versatile. I do like that. He's a team guy. He's a great locker room guy. He's great character. And, dude, his explosive pop off the line, dude, I love it. His first step, he gets to the guys quick. I do like his game. Yeah, like you said, he's going to be a really good rotation guy. Third defensive tackle, fourth defensive tackle on a depth chart. But at the end of the day, those are the guys that bring so much to a team, because they add, like, if they're able to get to the quarterback, disrupt the pocket as the third, fourth defensive tackle, that's so valuable, dude. And I think that's what this draft class is. It's just going to be a lot of guys that are making second contracts as like third or fourth defensive tackles, edge rushers, the meat and potatoes of teams. And like, look at Detroit this year, dude. They lost half their defense. If they would have had a little bit of more depth on that defense, Detroit might have won the Super Bowl.
They were really fucking dudes off the street, literally.
Exactly.
They like signed some dude who played against Justin Jefferson in high school or whatever that was.
That is crazy.
And he fucking locked him down.
He got him.
He might have played him in college, but I don't remember that. I wish I remembered his name, but
that's what, like, Detroit has the real opportunity to just get what they were missing last year, and that's just depth. Like, Washington needs more depth. Philly could use depth always. Kansas City, all these really good teams
there's
are
no
going to be
team that
building
has too
throughout
much depth.
Exactly. You can't have too much depth.
Yeah.
It's no such thing, dude.
All right, let's talk about your boy Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins from Georgia. 6'4", 282, 276.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. 10-inch hands, 33.5-inch arms.
Hands.
He had a shorter wingspan at his pro day than his combine.
Whoa, look at that.
81 3/8 inch, ran a 4.86, 2.78 20, 1.6 10-yard split, 36-inch vert, 10'4" broad, 4.3 shuttle, 7.28 cone. Yeah, but I have him as an edge rusher, so I haven't fully got into him, but like the little bits I had on him, like I do think he's a rotational piece. You can line him with edge, and then like on pass rush situation, when you have your DPR, your designated pass rusher, you could slide him inside, and he could be your interior DPR. Strong body of work. It's just a great character too. I notice like a lot of people at Georgia really like this guy. So I can't wait to really dive into his tape.
He's
but
fun.
on the little stuff, it's the lack of production. I've looked at his numbers. It's not there. I know he's dealt with some injuries as well, but high character kid. Georgia speaks highly of him, and that's a talented program. Maybe the most talented program. So
that's why I'm not really worried about his lack of production, because you look at guys at Georgia,
like
rare Ladd
quality
McConkey,
Georgia player.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey didn't have high production at Georgia. It's because these guys have to sit behind NFL talent every single year until you get your chance. And 2023 was his chance. He had a foot injury that he was dealing with most of the season, and it really got to him mentally, dude. Like, he even thought about entering the portal just to get out of Georgia to get a new scenery because of the foot injury. But he stayed. His 2024, he played. So let's get it. So Dawkins has every single ability to be an elite defensive end or defensive tackle at the next level. Former 5-star recruit. His college career didn't really pan out to be what everyone was expected, but he was constantly sitting behind NFL players at Georgia. He did play a lot last season. He played in all 14 games, 536 snaps, but he had a foot injury in 2023 that made that season a disappointment, and it really got to him mentally. If he's given the time and the opportunity to get everything together and be molded by the right teammates, the right coaches, and the right system around him, he could easily be one of the best defensive players in this class. And this class is stacked, so that's saying a lot. It's just about putting it all together. He's a freak athlete. His 1.6 10-yard split was the fastest at the position. His 4.86 40. Dyslexia is coming in hard here. He ran out of the building for a guy that size.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could step on the NFL field tomorrow and be one of the better run-stopping defensive tackles. It's just that his rush technique is so raw, and he just needs to be developed. But if you're putting him on the field to stop the run, he could do that tomorrow. He's going to develop a rush game at some point because of how athletic he is and how many traits he has. It's just about giving this guy time and opportunity, and I think he's going to shine at the next level. I think he's going to be a way better pro than he was at Georgia.
Yeah, his combine numbers and the explosive drills.
So fast off the line, dude.
That's why I'm just kind of like, I think this guy's going to be like a really big edge rusher.
Yeah, he's what, 6'5", 270-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He weighed in at 280 at his pro day, but 276 at the combine.
But yeah, his versatility to play over the line just based off his size, dude. I think he brings a lot. And like, he's been good his whole life. Like I said, he's a former 5-star recruit. He's been at Georgia, and he really didn't want to transfer at the end of the day. He wanted to show that he was worthy of that 5-star recruit from Georgia. And he played a lot of downs this year. He didn't have the productivity. He had like, I think 2 or 3 sacks over the 14 games.
Williams.
There's a lot of guys in this draft that didn't have productivity in college, dude.
Shamar Stewart. Yep. We'll be talking about
both
them
the Texas A&M
on
guys.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Nick Scorchin had productivity at Purdue. Or are you talking about Shamar Turner?
No, I'm thinking of Shamar Turner.
Okay. Yeah, but no, I can't wait to watch him.
He's fun.
Kind of get a feel on, and then maybe when I watch him, I'll figure out. But like judging off his numbers and his testing, I was like, I think this guy's a big edge. Green Bay and New Orleans, they're gonna love him. He's going to one of those places.
See, I keep always like associating New Orleans with big edges. They're a whole new coaching staff and a whole new system now.
That's true. Yeah.
And the guys they brought in are guys that coaching-wise that they're going to bring in quicker edge rushers.
Him behind Cameron Jordan, though, I think that'd be great for him.
A great learning spot.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to learn from one of the best, dude, you're not going to deny that.
Yeah. All right. CJ West is the only other guy that we had a discrepancy here in our 15 through 11. I am at 12. Indiana defensive tackle, 6'1", 316, 10-inch hands, 31 and 7/8-inch arms, 79 and 1/8 wingspan, ran a 4.9, 540, 2.87, 20, 173 10-yard split, and a 33-inch vert. He plays with natural leverage. He burrows, splits his double teams really well. He's just that ignition that jump starts the defense. His effort really stands out on tape. Great athlete, 9.15 relative athletic score from the combine. Good foot quickness. He's really good at getting skinny and kind of maneuvering through gaps.
Slipping through, yeah.
Yeah, he's real twitchy despite his weight. He's pretty good at shooting the gap, and he showcases a good power punch. And really rolls back interior blockers. But size, height, length, not ideal. His frame, I don't think there's room for him to really add more weight on. Production, single-digit sacks total in 52 games in college. Pass rush attack, he doesn't really have a technique or a plan. It's just more high energy, high motor.
He just goes.
I'm just going to try to run through it and figure out a way to get to the quarterback. And then obviously with his frame, he's got a compact body, shorter arms. I noticed his ball carriers slipped through his tackles a bit there, but leverage machine. I think while he lacks this prototypical size, I think he used that to his advantage and he wins with leverage. High energy player, incredible athlete. I think the skills are there to develop the pass rush. Like just look at his combine skills, like they're explosive stuff. But right now he's just winning off motor technique. His hand strength or NFL quality. I think his rush defense comes natural to him. His frame's going to be the issue. because at times, like, he can't make the tackler and the ball carrier slips by, but the upside's there for him, I think, to be a starting quality NFL defensive tackle. But I think early on he's going to be a rotational run stuffer as he starts to try to connect the dots as a pass rusher. But I liked it. He was fun.
Yeah, dude, he's really quick to react to the run. I noticed him hitting gaps really quick, waiting for the running back and hitting it at the right time. But yeah, like his first step on pass rush is kind of average at best, I would say. His pad level can get the best of him, but that's a lot of guys in this class. A lot of guys are going to learn. High. But that's a college thing. You're going to get lower in the NFL. You're just going to learn how to dip lower. It is what it is. But I did find that he was able, or people would get their hands on him because of his short arms, and they would be able to move him around and kind of get the best of him. But I did find that he's good at getting away, dude. He's a little bit twitchy for a guy that's like 315.
Mm-hmm.
But his frame worries me. He like you said, he's not going to be able to add on anything because he's shorter as it is. He's 6'1". His arms are short. But I like the way he plays. Like I said, I have him 16, so he's right outside my 15. I think he's going to be a rotation guy most of his career, but he could develop into a spot start, kind of number 2 defensive tackle here and there. I like his game. I do like it, but I would just take the 2023 Deion Walker. Dude, I can't get that out of my head. So that's why I got Walker at 15, West at 16. But I do like them both a lot.
Yeah. All right. Last 2 guys in this grouping. Jordan Phillips and Jamari Caldwell. You had Caldwell 13 and Phillips 14?
I had Phillips at 14 and Caldwell at 13.
Okay, we just have them reversed. I have Caldwell at 14 and Phillips at 13. Let's start with Jordan Phillips. 6'1", 312, 10-inch hands, 32-inch arms, 81 1/4 wingspan. We didn't see him run at all, but 31 vert, 9 foot broad, 4.65 shuttle, 819 3 cone, 29 bench press. This dude is muscled up. He is a pure granite.
Yeah, he is so compact, dude. And compact's literally the first word I wrote down for him. He's compact and so explosive. He'll hit you like a firecracker, dude. And he's also the leader in that locker room. I've heard nothing but compliments out of the building from Maryland about how he's able to walk into that locker room and just take leadership of everybody. Mm-hmm. And that's like one of his best traits, dude. Like his work ethic and leadership are 2 of his best traits, and they're both amazing. Oh goodness, what's going on here? He's always fighting through blocks, good second effort. I love it. But he's never going to be a pass rusher at the NFL, dude. He had 0 sacks over the last 2. 0 sacks. It's not even a he had 0. He's not going to be a pass rusher. If it's a third down and you're blitzing, he's not going to be on the field. So I look at him as a first down, second down kind of defensive tackle. But there's nothing wrong with that, dude. The way he's able to power through and explode onto offensive guards and centers, he moves grown-ass men because of what he's able to do with his leverage, and he gets low. He's one of the guys that doesn't play really high. He plays lower, and he explodes with leverage. But his pass rush is just, it's not there. It's not a thing.
So I noticed at times, like, he would try to do, like, a spin or a swim. So, like, he knows the technique. It's just, I don't know why it's not translating. But, like, I saw it, so I'm like, okay, maybe this is a guy who might be able to get 3 or 4 sacks at the next level with playing time. I don't know, but background as a wrestler, which shows with his hand use and his leverage, like you said, double teams, he could take on 2 dudes.
Jordan Phillips.
He's explosive out of his stance. Like, he's really good in the short area to win there. Really twitchy, explosive hips. Like my first thing is muscled up, meaty. Like, this dude is just.
I wanted to like him more.
I did. I agree. I wanted to like him more.
But his tape's not it, dude. Like, his tape's kind of a rough watch. It just never got going.
Freaks List alum. Bruce Feldman Freaks List, squats over 665 pounds, power cleans 365, 2 reps of 365 on overhead presses. Like, the dude is a gym rat. He's built for the NFL. He's got an NFL body. Yeah. So, but the no sacks in college, minimal pass rush production in terms of pressures as well. arms are a little short. He does struggle if you get him locked up.
Mm-hmm.
I also noticed that he kind of goes to the wrong gap, and it created a rushing lane, and running back got through because he hit the wrong gap. And there's really no plan. There's no plan B, C, or D for this guy. It's just all plan A.
Yeah.
And once that happens, he's just like, I'm done. I'm out of the play.
But that's the thing. I get he was hitting the wrong gaps, and that's just going to come down to like an instinct thing.
Yeah.
But he hits it quick. So as long as he's hitting the right gap, his instincts are there to do it quick enough. He just has to make the right choice, and he's not. And that's a problem. But like if the instincts and the techniques come down and they get better over time, he's going to be a better pro than he was at Maryland the last 2 years.
He's young. He's 20. Yeah. He's 20 years old. He's incredibly raw. Sophomore red shirt. He's not a guy I think can step on the field right away. I think he's going to be benefiting from sitting a lot this year and just kind of soaking in the game, learning from a vet, getting a lot of practice reps. But he's muscled up, sawed-off arms, really explosive. He'll fight till the whistle blows. Like, there's no issue with his motor or his competitiveness, but I think he can be a 2 to 3 sack guy at the next level if, get him in the right system. Because, like, the moves were there. Like, I saw him do it. They just weren't effective. So maybe it is him, but maybe it's something that a coach can kind of just be like, hey, I see it. Do it this way, and it'll work. Like, but if a coach can unlock his potential, he's going to be a top 7 dude in this class of interior guys.
For sure. 100% agree. Right, I wish he would have stayed. I don't know.
I agree. I wish he would have went back one more year.
Just because of how loaded this class is, he didn't have to come out. He could have stayed.
That tells me the committee board gave him a 2nd or 3rd round grade. Yeah. So I get it, but I wish he would have went back
2nd or 3rd,
and continued to refine that technique. Jamari Caldwell, speaking of another guy who's got no pass rush, Oregon, similar players, 6'2", 332, 9 5/8 inch arms, or hands, 32-inch arms.
We're doing it again.
Yeah,
Tiny
78 wingspan. He ran a 5'1", 40, 3'0", 20, 186, 10-yard split. Oregon defensive tackle. He flashes in the short areas. I have that as a positive for him. Quick to attack edges and play his gap. Hustles to maintain his gap against zone blocks. Ideal frame to be a space eater at the NFL level. He delivers blows. He really pushes blockers back. Like, blockers ain't moving this guy. He's moving them. He's also got a good initial quickness out of his stance and reacts well off the snaps. Got a really good get off. He is a true blue NFL nose tackle. There's nothing to it. He's not a guy
He is a standard nose tackle.
Which, that's fine. Like,
but he's sneaky athletic, though. I will give him that. I think he has a better pass rush than Jordan Phillips.
See, I think I have him the same grade with pass rush. I don't think either of them
slightly better, and that's why I have him one spot above.
Yeah. I thought he was predictable. I thought he really had just one move, and if you figured it out, he was done. And then he would try to win on quickness. His arms are a little shorter, so he does struggle with stacking blocks. I also noticed he puts himself on the ground too much. Like, I don't know what he was doing. Like, I don't know if it's contact balance, but like, I always saw this dude on the ground for no reason. Like, what are you doing? Just get up. He missed tackles too.
Listed.
He leaves his feet too much. Yeah. So it's not what I want for my nose tackle. I want my nose tackle to kind of plant his fat ass on the line and just eat up space, which he can do. But there were times where I'm just like,
he does it.
Stop going to the ground. Like, you don't go low. Just bull rush, my dude. But
his pad level is wildly inconsistent.
Yeah. He's not the sexiest prospect, but I like his upside as a true nose tackle in the NFL. There's no pass rush plan, and what he does have, it's easy to pick up. But I like him in the short area, power level to impact the run game. I think he's going to be a really good run defender. But I don't think he's going to be any more than just like a occasional spot starter. But I do think right system he could be a starting level nose tackle for 3-4 years.
I think he could be a starting nose tackle.
But
He's got the NFL.
If he can sort out his technique and his refinement as a pass rusher and kind of develop a plan, he's going to outplay his draft position.
For sure. Has an NFL frame, standard nose tackle body, but has some sneaky athleticism behind him. He's got a little bit of a rush game. It's not consistent at all, and it has slowed down over time. But he eats up double team, and he's the ability to hog up lanes, not leaving any gaps in the room. He fights on every single play. He plays hard. He plays with heart. Like I said, though, his pad level is wildly inconsistent. And when it gets high, he can be moved around and knocked off balance. For a guy his size, I do not like that. He is put on his ass a little bit too often for my liking. But we got to remember, he's playing like almost the highest of high competition at Oregon. He's playing really good college players every single game. So I get that. But I want to see him get off blocks a little bit quicker too. If someone has him, he's kind of slower to get off. I just want to see him be more consistent in his play. He's more consistent than like Walker and Phillips and like the guys I've named before. I think he could be a really good just standard nose tackle for a team that I don't think he's going to have. I think like what you see as Phillips as like a 3 to 4 sack, I see as out of Caldwell, and that's why I got him one spot above. I don't think he's going to get many sacks, but I think he's just going to sit there, clog the lane, be a really good run stopper. And here and there, he's just going to get to that pocket. He's not going to get a ton of sacks, or like that stat number is not going to be popping, but he can move guys back into the pocket, disrupt the pocket, get to the quarterback, get to his head. He makes a lot of stuff happen at Oregon. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I think we're both higher on him than consensus. I don't see him
for sure.
too often in people's top 15s.
He's usually right on the outside of 15.
Yeah. Our last guy here, we both have him at 11, Joshua Farmer, Florida State.
Joshua Farmer is my 11, yes.
All right. 6'3", 312, 10 and 1/8 inch hands, 34 and 3/8 inch arms, 82 and 3/4 wingspan, ran a 5.1 40, 1.76 10-yard split, 29-inch vert, 9 foot 4 inch broad, and then 26 bench reps at the combine. I wish he was a little more consistent. I did notice at times that his motor wasn't as great as like CJ West and Jordan Phillips. He wasn't this high motor guy. I noticed at times like little peaks and valleys there, and his play in general, consistent at times, but I think he should transition nicely as a rotational piece. He's got natural power that allows him to be a force, and he's got the tools to develop. His
power is crazy, dude.
The tools are there to develop as an interior pass rusher. Size, strength, explosive. He doesn't move well laterally, but linearly. Not worried about him there. Plays through the whistle, plays hard, he attacks. If he could chirp his hand technique and, anchor his base. Another guy who I noticed like his base not anchored great. I think he's going to be a productive starting caliber interior rusher, but if not, I think there's a developmental piece who could give you some pass rushing juice on passing situations, and he'll bounce around the league. But like, there's a place for him. Team captain in 2024. Yeah. He's an alpha attitude, size, strength, to eat space in the middle, high motor at times, but not as consistent as like the guys we talked about before, CJ West, Jordan Phillips. I thought it was a little touch and go there, but he does get coverage sacks, factors into gang tackles. I've always noticed like he's always around the ball carrier when his motor is full speed. Quick, fierce hands. He stabs, he strikes, he works off contacts. He doesn't wear gloves. Like, I'm watching him like, does this guy not have gloves on? Like the first game I'm watching, I'm like, okay. And like the couple games I watched after that, I'm like, dude, this guy just doesn't wear gloves. I love that. Yeah. Really explosive mover, but base, a little streaky, not a great anchor, plays high. College production, it's not eye-popping, it's just okay. Feet aren't as good as some of the other guys in this class. He struggles to stay in his gap against double teams. He lets his chest open to offensive linemen as well. But I think most of his flaws are coaching stuff. Yeah, he's clean.
Yeah,
yep,
he's good.
Yeah, like
what I have down for him, there's nothing flashy about this man's game.
Nope.
And to be honest, it's very simple, and he was one of the easier guys I scouted. He's just crazy strong, and he has the ability to move grown-ass men backwards into the pocket. He's crazy powerful and has really long arms, really strong hands. I think he's best suited as a rotation guy on the line, but he has an eye to find the pocket and make the quarterback really uncomfortable standing in there. He plays the run game really nice. His pad level seems to be right here and there, but it is a little inconsistent, and he makes the right choices when he chooses the gap. He doesn't have an elite first step, which I did notice, and he is kind of slow side-to-side motions and not fluid in his movements like you brought up. And he does struggle with splitting the gap on a two-man. If they double-team him, he can't split the gap. He's kind of out of the play then. But he's strong, dude. He's a dog. I love his mentality. I think he's got it, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're looking at a second, third round guy come the draft here. But clean tape.
Yeah, he's good.
He doesn't do anything
for sure.
extraordinarily well, but he's going to be on an NFL team and make an impact somewhere, whether it's as a third interior guy or a spot starter or even just a second defensive tackle.
Yeah, he's just going to be a guy that's on rosters for the next 6 to 8 years just doing what he does, and it's not going to blow people away. Like I said, he doesn't have anything that pops out of the building like, oh, this guy's amazing at this, and that. He's just a really good football player at the end of the day. And that's what teams need, dude. You need guys that are going to play their heart out, even if they're not the starter or the best guy on the team. And the downs Joshua Farmer's on the field for an NFL team, he's going to be out there giving it 110%. And he's so strong, dude. He makes offensive guards and centers really uncomfortable, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets them backpedaling and really out of their comfort zone real quick. All right, before we jump into our top 10, let's give out a shout out to our friends over at W Energy. W contains no calories, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors. You know, they pride themselves on full ingredient transparency and disclosure. They got a ton of stuff. It's a focus energy. They use a coffee fruit extract for their the energy, so it's a natural, clean energy. And each time they create something, it's with the same philosophy: be effective, be clean, taste as good as nature allows. But yeah, ton of flavors. We've got Dub Sludge, which is a caramel apple with a mystery sauce. There's a Calio cream, which is mango orange cream. There's Push and Punch, which is fruit punch and lime. A ton of stuff, good flavors, and then they have non-caffeinated stuff as well. You know, pump up your water. They got hydration line. So check them out. That's W Energy. Search them on your app store. They'll be there, or you can visit their site, w.gg. That's W-D-U-B-B-Y. Be better with W Energy. Eat that dub, and of course, use the code DRAFTEDUP for a nice 10% discount on your order. Support our friends at W. Support the podcast as well.
Oh yeah, we appreciate it.
All right, 10 through 6.
10 through 6. You want me to lead off?
There's going to be a guy who I have in my 10 through 6 who I'm almost sure you have him in your top 5. He's a U guy, but I have him a little bit lower. I have him a little bit lower. So, yeah, shoot, 10 through 6. Who you got?
All right, I'll go. 10, I got Alfred Collins, Texas. 9, Omar Norman-Lott from Tennessee. 8, Shamar Turner from Texas A&M. 7, Tyleik Williams from Ohio State. 6, TJ Sanders, South Carolina.
Yeah, okay. I was right. All right. At 10, I also have Alfred Collins from Texas. Nice. At 9, this is the guy. Darius Alexander from Toledo.
Yeah, I already know who it is. You are wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
I have Omar Norman-Lott from Tennessee at 8. I have TJ Sanders from South Carolina at 7. And I have Shamar Turner, Texas A&M at 6.
You hate him. Just might as well just send him a letter that says he's not getting drafted. Yep, he's not getting drafted. You went to a small school. You went to Toledo, dude. Get the hell out of here. No one wants to see you play football.
Loved Quinyon Mitchell, brother.
Apparently not. I don't allow it. Dude, they're like almost the same kind of like, dude, the way that they play, they're so underdog, dude. I love Alexander, dude.
I liked him, just not as much as those guys had. But let's knock Alfred Collins out of the way here. We both have him at 10.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice he bulked
Texas.
up a lot this season?
Yeah.
He got a lot bigger.
6'5", 332, 10-inch hands, 35-inch arms, 85-inch wingspan. Didn't do any of the running stuff. 26-inch vert, 8-foot broad at the combine there for Alfred Collins. I got prototypical body, A-plus body. Like, his body is fit for the NFL. Like, you look at him and you know, like, yeah, that guy's an interior lineman. His tackle to missed tackle ratio was great. Didn't miss. I think he missed 2 tackles all year. He blocks field goals. He was second in college football this past year in batted down passes at the line of scrimmage. He's got good strength at point of attack, gains control of his blocks. He resets the line when his feet are moving. He takes on blocks wide, sturdy base. He's like a real good anchor. It's hard to move this guy out of place. Strong lower half. He absorbs contact really well. Like I said, hard to move out of his gap. At his best, like he stacks gaps, he stacks blocks, he mans his gap, but not much of a pass rusher. You know, he's got some tight hips, just an okay first step. He's real awkward. Like I noticed, like he's a real awkward pass rusher. I cued it to a newborn deer, like a baby deer trying to stand up. Like he's just real awkward out there, kind of clunky, clumsy as a pass rusher.
It's not natural. It's not natural to him.
But he's out there. He's trying. But he's not a guy I'm going to want pass rushing. That's not his shtick. Use of hands during the pass rush, like I said, it's poor. He misses late. Linemen get their hands on him pretty quick. He's only had 1 full season as a starter. He stops his feet too. I noticed, like if the blocker gets in his chest, his feet just stop moving, and he just tries to wiggle his body around.
Good pass rushers never stop moving their feet. Collins just straight up stops moving. Yep. It's not even his feet. It's just him. He just stops walking, running. I don't understand what's going on, but I do like it, dude. I like him.
Athletic profile to be a plus side NFL starter and contributor. Sure tackler, eats blocks, holds down his assignment. Only won 4 years as starter in college, but he's durable. He made an impact this past year as one of the best interior linemen in the nation. Hands are active, and he'll swat down passes with ease at the line of scrimmage, which makes up for his lack of pass rush and him just being a real awkward pass rusher in general. Plays high at times, and when linemen get in his chest, like I said, his feet just stop moving, and he just kind of stands there and becomes just irrelevant. I don't necessarily believe that he has to be a pass rusher at the next level, because I think as a run stopper, he is of NFL caliber.
He brings enough. He brings enough.
That's what you're going to ask him to do, and just have him plant himself there and stop the run. Sure, I would love to see him refine his technique and become a pass rusher, because then you got an elite level defensive tackle on your hands.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like Chris Jenkins last year from Michigan. Didn't have to be a pass rusher. Wasn't there. I just want him out there stopping the run. That's the kind of game I expect here from Alfred Collins.
Yeah, if he goes to a defensive line that doesn't need him to be any type of pass rusher, he's going to feast, dude. He did bulk up a little bit for the season, and because of that, he became a really good anchor for the defensive line. He plants himself and he doesn't move. Doesn't have one particular trait that stands out, but he does everything very well. Can be added to a D-line room tomorrow and he wouldn't miss a beat. He's ready to play. His bag to get around and through the offensive line isn't deep, but it doesn't have to be deep, and it's not defined. But what he does most is just brings everything in a well-rounded game to a football team. He's not going to be a high level production sack guy, but like you said, that's not what he is. He doesn't need to be a sack guy. Him rushing the quarterback and his feet stopping, that worries me, but that's not his game. That's not what he's going to be doing at the NFL. And a good defensive coordinator isn't going to ask him to do that. They're not going to be like, hey, it's 3rd and 20, go out there and rush the quarterback guy. He's not going to be on the field at that point. That's not going to be him. But when it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, and you got Jalen Hurts tush pushing, Alfred Collins is going to be one of the few guys in the NFL I would be comfortable having in that spot, anchoring the defensive line.
Center,
And that's what the NFL is all about today, dude. If you can stop a 2-yard run on 3rd and 2 and then 4th and 2, you're stopping it again, you're going to make a bag at the next level, dude. Yeah. And Alfred Collins does a lot of that.
All right. Darius Alexander will save him and Tyleek Williams because you have Tyleek in this group. I have Tyleek in my top 5, and vice versa. You have Darius Alexander in your top 5.
Do we have him 5?
I do have Tyleek Williams 5.
I got Alexander 5.
Okay. So let's jump to Omar Norman-Lott. You had him 9?
Yes.
Okay, I have him 8. So Omar Norman-Lott, Tennessee interior lineman, 6'1", 303 pounds, 10 3/4 inch hands, 33 3/4 inch arms, 80 3/8 wingspan. He ran a 5.15 on his pro day, 183 10-yard split, 31.5 inch vert, 9.5 foot broad. We had to talk about Deion Walker playing millions of snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Omar Norman-Lott is the opposite.
Yeah, and that's my main problem with this guy.
That's Tennessee, I think, though.
He played 250 snaps, dude.
Like James Pierce didn't play a ton either. So I think that's just the Tennessee defense. But yeah, he averaged 17.3 defensive snaps a game. So he wasn't out there a ton. I also noticed he was always trying to jump the snap. He had 3 offsides penalties in the games I watched. And just a highly penalized player in general. 12 total flags over the past 2 years at Tennessee. He does lack discipline. He had an ejection. He was ejected in 2023 and then suspended for punching a player in a game. And then he's averaged 38. He's averaged a penalty every 38 snaps at Tennessee. So,
yeah, and for a guy that plays no snaps, that's crazy, dude.
This will here we go. Omar Norman-Lott is not going to be everyone's cup of tea as a prospect. Shoot, I didn't think I was going to like him. I was just like, this guy.
I think I have this backwards. I thought I was going to really like him.
Okay.
So I ended up not liking him as much as I thought I would.
I love his get off. I love his motor. The lack of playing time does concern me. But again, I think that's a Tennessee thing, as they just love running this rotation of linemen. Like I said, James Pierce.
They want to keep guys fresh.
Junior. Yeah.
I get why they're doing it, and it's not a gripe versus the system. But when you watch his tape, and when everyone says, "Oh, well, he's got great get up late in games, and he's got like a great first step, and he's quick off the line." Yeah, he's quick off the line because he's so much fresher than all of the other guys on the field because he doesn't play. But he's never on the field.
I think he's got a good motor. He was second on the team in pressures despite being a part-time player, essentially. But I think as a designated pass rushing interior guy, he's your guy.
That's what he is.
He is your guy.
I agree, and that's what he is.
He's this ball of energy with good hands, good upper body strength. He wins on impact. The discipline is definitely concerning with the flags and just his behavior. And his lower body strength isn't up to par where I think he could be a high-end run defender, but the ability's there for him to improve there. But he's compact, massive hands, great get-off. First step quickness is almost like an edge rusher. He's got a real good burst and initial step. Good with his hands, like I said, swipe, grabs, chops, all that stuff. Like, you're not getting a hold of this guy. He is karateing you from touching him. Good pass rusher, good motor, gets coverage sacks, impressive upper body strength to win at the point of attack. As a run defender, it's just we didn't see enough on tape if he could be an actual run defender with only playing so minimal. But I'm sure you loved watching him because he was a quick watch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Didn't have a ton of stuff, but I like his upside as a interior rusher, and I think there's room for him to grow. But what he had on tape, I was in on, and I didn't think I would be.
I'm not saying I don't want to sound like I'm hating on. I have him 9.
I have
him 9 in a stacked class. Exactly. It's just that I'll just get into it. So he's amazing off the ball. One of the better guys at the class. For his first step is out of this world. He's really good at reading and beating his blockers. Can cover a lot of ground with his quick short burst in the run game, but he tends to struggle with rushers that come right at him. So he's a really good run defender from what I tell, but if you're running straight at him, he's not going to make the play because he's not used to getting off tackles that quick and whatnot. He plays with a high motor, which I love. He adds a lot of electric to a D room, which is great. but he doesn't seem like an every down defensive tackle to me. I think he's going to be an amazing rotation defensive tackle, but he's played less than half the downs than the guys above him. Like I said, he played in 250 snaps. The guys above him, we're going to put it in the realm, play usually mid 500s. One guy played 600 snaps back-to-back seasons, and you know who that was, TJ? Darius Alexander.
No.
That guy is always on the field for Toledo because he's a dog.
Well, I mean, it's because it's Toledo. Let's be real.
Yeah, well, you shut your mouth.
But no, I like Omar Norman-Lott. I don't like. I'm sort of with you. I like him a little bit more than you do, but I think we're both on the same. I don't like where he's going in consensus.
I agree.
I've seen people say he's like a top 45 guy, and
I'm not
taking an interior DPR
rotation guy. No.
In the top 50. Like I think he's more of a third round is where I'm really comfortable with him.
And that would be great. We're in the same boat for sure.
Yeah. I just like
I think he's going to be a really good pro.
I agree.
It's just that I think he's a pure rotation guy in my eyes, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't want him on the field for like run plays or like necessarily short yardage downs. Mm-hmm. But if I need a defensive tackle to pin his ears back on 3rd and 15 and go win me the game and get to the quarterback, there's a good chance I would just take Omar Norman-Lott over a good amount of these guys in this draft class.
He's the perfect pairing for Chris Jones for Kansas City.
Alfred Collins. Him and Alfred Collins are literally like a great pairing. They're so opposites. Collins will sit there and stop the run, and Omar Norman-Lott can just rush the quarterback. Yeah. These last two guys we talked about are complete opposites, and that's what I love about the position. The defensive line is almost becoming like basketball. It is almost positionless. Mm-hmm. You can just move these guys around to wherever you want. To like back in the day, it was a strict outside edge, inside defensive tackle, nose tackle, other edge. Yep. Now you can kick these guys out.
Usually that other edge was more of a run stopper. You weren't wanting him to generate a pass rush.
A good amount of these guys can even drop back in coverage. I'm not saying in this class, but like you see constant defensive linemen now just surprise the quarterback and kick back in the coverage. Like Aiden Hutchinson's amazing at it. I've seen that guy pick off a ball multiple times because the quarterback truly thought he was blitzing. No, it's 3rd and 15. I just dropped back on coverage. Surprise. Yep. And that's valuable, dude.
All right. TJ Sanders and Shamar Turner, and then we'll dive into Tyleik Williams and Darius Alexander, who I hate.
You hate him.
Hate him. Can't stand him. Why are we even talking about him? TJ Sanders, South Carolina interior defensive lineman, 6'3", 305, 10 and 1/8 inch hands, 33 and 1/4 arms, almost 81-inch wingspan, ran a 4.95 at his pro day, 1.67 10-yard split, 31.5-inch vert, 9.4 broad. No bench press, which I'm not worried about, but I think TJ Sanders is just a really good football player. He's like
he does everything good.
Joshua Farmer. He's just a better version of Joshua Farmer.
Yeah, he's the upgraded version for sure.
Yeah, I like his first step and his second gear as well. I think his second gear is pretty on par with his first step. He's really violent at the point of attack when it comes to stopping the run. They moved him all over the line. He played 4-tech. He played nose. Real good frame, tall, athletic, long arms, good range. He's light on his feet, real nimble, moves well laterally. I got a note here from Dane Brugler's. He's a draft scout for The Athletic. He posted his draft analyst. From an NFL scout regarding TJ Sanders. Coaches say he really matured and went from being late to meetings when he first got to school to becoming a guy who sets the example on how to carry himself as an upperclassman, which
that's sure what you
could focus on the fact that he was late to meetings, but the fact that this guy matured and then became the trendsetter for this program, which was great to see. Doesn't have the best mass to combat trenches. His conditioning, not the best. He does get gassed towards end of games or long drives. I've also noticed that. Production's just okay. I also thought he wasn't overly aware. I thought sometimes his awareness wasn't on point. He missed some gaps or missed some chances where he could have got to the pass rusher or missed the ball carrier. But his pass rush plan's okay, but I want it to be more refined, more detailed. He's really just like a 2-move guy, but
Yeah.
I think his versatility, I think he's a rock solid. You take him second, third round, he's just going to eat snaps, be productive. Like, I think he could play as a rookie. Like, I don't think he's necessarily just a rotational piece. I think you can come in, be the second defensive tackle on the team, and just start games. He's got a good skill set. It's just consistency and just developing his pass rush plan, which sometimes it's there. It's just not consistent.
It's not consistent.
Like he didn't really have a secondary attack. It was really just the one or two things he did well, and if it wasn't that, he just kind of was there on the play. But I think he's got a really good floor. I think he can stop the run. I think he can be a pass rusher as well. I think he's a plus side starter.
I agree. The order I watched the guys, just the insight. I happened to watch Caldwell, the Oregon kid, and then I watched TJ Sanders. TJ Sanders once never got put on his ass. It just didn't happen.
No.
He was never moved backwards. He was never put on his ass. He never got put off balance. He's got a great core and lower base, hard for our offensive linemen to move him backwards. Almost never put on the ground. He's quick to shed blocks, kind of twitchy, average first step though. But really good at getting his hands on guys first. His core and base helps move guys back into the pocket, disrupting the quarterback. But he almost never bends at the knees. He always bends at the waist. That's kind of a problem with getting lower and getting around the edge. Average first step, which I said he isn't explosive. Plays a little bit tight. Would like to see him play a little bit looser, work on his change of direction. But like you said, dude, TJ Sanders can step on the field tomorrow and compete with the best of them. He's going to be a really good defensive tackle too, right off the bat. I don't know if he's going to be able to be that number one defensive tackle on a team.
No, I don't think that's in his arsenal, but
it's in the range. One of the I think he's one of the lower guys that could develop into end up being just that core guy on a defensive line, and not from a talent wise, but from what he brings to a locker room and what he does on a football field. He's going to be good, dude. I have him at 6. Right outside my top 5. Yeah, I had him at 6, right outside my top 5.
And then Shamar Turner, who I had at 6, you have him at 8?
8.
Okay. Shamar Turner, Texas A&M. You hate him. 6'3", 290, 10 3/8 inch hands, 33 5/8 inch arms, 81 1/8 inch wingspan, and he did no workouts. He's banged up. Right. Yes. Yeah. Stress fracture in 2024 during fall camp. He had a rod inserted and he played through the injury. And you could kind of tell on tape. His tape wasn't in 2024 wasn't as good as it was in 2023. But also in 2023 he suffered a torn labrum. Like the guy is always hurt, which is unfortunate because I think he's really explosive lower half. I think his hands are really good. Like I noticed he just pushed blockers out of the way. He could play edge. He could play nose. He could play over the center. He could play over the guard. Really good lineup versatile there, which was a thing in Texas A&M in general. Shamar Stewart moved around. Nick Scorch, and they tried moving him around, which was dumb because Nick Scorch, and you just let that dude pin his ears back. Like they were just
he's
like
a one set kind of guy
30
for sure.
pounds and that's not his game, and which is a shame because we'll talk about Scorch next week. But this guy added 30 pounds, Shamar Turner, before this season, and I didn't notice any difference. Like he really held that weight well. Real good motor, play demeanor as well, but he's a little sloppy as a tackler. He had double-digit missed tackles in 2024. How much of that was injuries? How much was that him? He also a ton of 15-yard penalties. I just love these penalized guys.
This is the guy that I had that needs to work on his discipline. Yeah, this is the guy.
Is off-field decision-making as well. He was arrested and charged with reckless driving in 2023, and it was said he faced discipline, but he didn't miss any playing time. So his tape, though, I really liked it, which is why I have him at 6. I think he is a really good NFL player. Like Shamar Turner plays like a shotgun case of Red Bull. Like his adrenaline is just through the roof. His motor's nonstop, and sometimes it's a bad thing. Like I said, there's some stuff after the whistle where it's a little touchy. Like you got to tone it down a little bit. But like I said, more penalties than you care to see. He threw some punches. little sloppy tackler, sometimes due to him overshooting and sometimes due to technique, but the dude's explosive. He's able to play all over the line, good burst. Hands are strong and active. He's really intense, really aggressive, high motor. If he can keep his head straight and touch up on the little technique stuff that he needs to work on, he's an easy no-brainer top 50 guy in the class for me. Just
he's good. He might be the most violent guy at the position. Take that as you will.
Amazing off the field.
Exactly. Amazing first step and quick to punch guys and move them backwards. Also, take that as you will. So explosive, he can win versus one-on-one blocks. He can also slip through double teams. He never stops moving during a play. High motor guy. He'll find a way through the offensive line if the play just keeps extending. So, like, if the offense is just trying to, like, extend the play, kick it out, and just let the receivers run downfield, he's going to slip through at some point. He never stops until the whistle. He is the high-energy guy. A lot of unnecessary penalties throughout his college career. Needs to work on his discipline. He doesn't have the typical defensive tackle mass. He's a little underweight. But, man, I love what he brings to the room, dude. He is a dog. And I get that can be a red flag when he's that much of a dog. I don't think it's going to be that bad at the next level, dude. I have some type of weird thing for, like, guys that have on-field and off-field things.
Except Isaiah Bond. You hate him.
Well, that's because that guy's tape was trash. Isaiah Bond is not good. As long as you're doing productive things on the NFL field, NFL teams usually do not give a fuck what you do off the field.
Unless
Dallas
Philly.
Cowboys.
Philly will not. Well, they draft Jalen Carter, but Philly won't draft anybody with sexual
They had to draft
history.
Carter, dude.
And any sexual allegations, they're off the Eagles board. So you can count
There's
out
a couple
Mike
guys
Green.
in this draft class
Mike
right off
Green
the board.
Won't be an Eagle. But yeah, which is surprising that I was higher on Shamar Turner than you were. I had him at 6. Usually I'm weary of character guys. But his character, I'm not worried about like Isaiah Bonds.
Believe the best in people, dude. I think I just don't think it's going to be an issue. I think he's going to get his head straight and get his shit together just because of how talented he is, dude. I just don't want to see the opportunity go to waste, man. Take what you were given and fucking go succeed in life, dude.
Yeah. All right. So Tyleik Williams and Darius Alexander, you have Tyleik at 7?
6.
6. I have Darius Alexander at
7.
Okay.
7. You're right.
I have Darius Alexander at 9. You have Darius Alexander at 5. I have Tyleik Williams at 5. So who's the rest of your top 5? We'll just round that out, and then we'll jump those 2 guys.
I mean, the top 4s, I would feel it's going to be the same guys. I have 4, Kenneth Grant, 3, Derek Harmon, 2, Walter Nolan, 1, Mason Graham.
Okay. I really thought I was going to be the outlier with Kenneth Grant at 4. I figured he was going to be your 2. I do. I have Kenneth Grant at 4. I have Walter Nolan at 3. I have Derek Harmon at 2. And Mason Graham
in my
at
eyes,
1.
I think Walter Nolan's a lot closer to Mason Graham than anyone's given that guy credit.
That's how I feel about Derek Harmon.
I get that.
Yeah, okay. But you want to talk about Tyleik Williams or you want to talk about your boy Darius Alexander?
Don't matter to me, dog. I have Williams report up, so if we just want
to... Okay, yeah, let's do Tyleik Williams, Ohio State interior guy. Nick hates him. I love him. 6'2", 330, 10 1/4 inch hands, 32-inch arms.
I'm just going to stop you right off the bat. You know Alexander's going above all these guys in the draft, right?
He is not going above Tyleik Williams.
I disagree.
You. Tyleik Williams, I think is going to be a first-round pick.
I think Alexander's could be a first-round pick.
Okay. I don't. So these are the guys.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Completely different players, though. Like, 78 and 5/8 inch wingspan. Didn't run the 40. He did run a 2.7 20-yard split and a 1.7 4.10. I don't need to run a 40. Why am I running 40 yards? I'm a 330-pound dude. I'm just going to run the 10-yard. Ohio State guy.
Well, especially he's not a defensive tackle that's going to be chasing guys down the field either. He's a clog the hole kind of run stopper, dude.
Tyleik Williams has been one of my biggest risers throughout the process. I love his upside as a run defender at the next level. I think he's an NFL-ready run defender right now. I think he's a perfect good floor prospect at the tail end of the first round into the top of the second. Like, I don't think he falls out of the top 45. Eats blocks with ease, moves well for a big man. Absolute menace with his hands. Inconsistent play worries me, though, as his play does go through stretches. Early on, I saw a lot of negative games, and I just didn't see it with him. And then throughout the process, the positive games, though, they're just pure art. I love his hand use. He does got to refine his technique a little bit to be more consistent in his usage as a pass rusher and run defender, but sans the health scare, a lot of his flaws are coachable. He's got no problem shedding off blocks. His hands, he bats passes at the line of scrimmage when he can't win as a rusher. He breaks down blocks in the run game with explosion and extension. He's tough to slow down, which, I mean, obviously you have a 330-pound dude running at you. The momentum is going to carry you, so good luck. He's also got great block awareness and a real good feel for splitting double teams. Shorter arms, like I said, inconsistent overall, flashes of brilliance, and then sometimes he just wasn't there. Had 3 games missed this past season, had an ankle injury, battled shoulder, elbow, knee injuries throughout the 2022 season. But yeah, no, I think he is a high floor guy, and I think, say Kenneth Grant doesn't make it to a team like Buffalo, I think Tyleik Williams is on the board for them as a run defender, because that's what they need. They need a guy who could just plant their ass in the middle of the defensive line and just eat up space. So really, with Darius Alexander, opposite player. He's not the plant his ass type.
Yeah, no.
So it's really scheme versatile what you need. Like I do think there's a chance Darius Alexander does go first round, but I think I'm more confident that Tyleik goes there. Like I don't think he falls past the Jets in the second round. I don't know where
that's the exact range I have for. I don't think Alexander falls past the Jets, and I think it's 46. It's like 46 or 47. The Jets pick. I think both these guys are gone by the 50th pick. I 100% agree to that. But what worries me about Tyleik is I don't think he's going to be in every like a 3-down defensive lineman. I think he's going to get pulled off the field on third downs. He doesn't have a pass rush in my eyes, but he'll clog the hole and stop the run. He's really nice footwork for a big dude. Very violent attack. He will overpower a one-on-one block with ease. His pad level at times is a little bit high, and he struggles with double teams, I found. He struggles with double team because of his pad height. He also struggles with longer-armed offensive linemen. I found that he couldn't get away from blocks as easy. His hands aren't as developed enough to shed blocks as like the longer-arm guys, which is he doesn't have the pass rush because of that. Like I said, he might be a first and second down defensive tackle. At first, he needs to develop the pass rush to be able to be on the field for third down. But his ability to stop the run and clog the lanes is bar none, dude. He's amazing at that. He's really good. I have him at 7, right behind TJ Sanders, I believe, who I also think is amazing. I just want to see him develop that pass rush, dude. And if he gets that pass rush and he's able to be on the field for all 3 downs, he's great. He's going to be good. I'm not worried about it. But I think at first he's a first, second down kind of defensive tackle, getting pulled on third downs. So where Alexander's not getting pulled on any downs, dude. He's playing every single snap.
Darius Alexander, I have him at 9. Real close to Norman-Lott. He
reminds me of Darius Robinson.
I think those
from last year.
I think come the time I build my big board, Darius Alexander might end up being 8 over Omar Norman-Lott. I think I copied these incorrectly from my spreadsheet, but regardless.
I forget your take on Darius Robinson last year, the Missouri defensive end. I thought I was a lot higher on him than you were.
I think you were, but I don't
He reminds me a lot of him.
Remember 2024 stuff off the top of the dome, besides like Brian Thomas Jr. Was my dog, and that worked out well for me. I had him as my 9th edge rusher, so probably not as high. I had guys like Braylon Trice and Jonah Ellis and Marshawn Nealon over him. So, yeah, I was a little bit lower on Darius Robinson. But sense. Darius Alexander, Toledo, 6'3", 305 pounds, 10-inch hands, 34-inch arms, almost 83-inch wingspan, ran a 4.95, 1.7, 10-yard split, 31.5-inch vert, 9'3" broad. My first line on him, Darius Alexander is a fun football player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a little older. He's going to be 25 as a rookie.
He is. He's a 5-year starter.
Yeah, his
Well,
game
5-year
lends
player.
itself to being an impact player as part of a defensive line rotation. He's a great athlete for his size, moves really well side to side. He knows how to make himself skinny, slide through gaps. I even think he could play some edge, which makes sense to
Mm-hmm.
your comparison to Darius Robinson
Yep.
in certain formations due to just how well he moves. I do worry about the fact that he didn't really dominate his level of competition. Like he's playing at Toledo, and at times, like I didn't think he rose above everybody else on a consistent
Oh,
basis.
see, I disagree. Like
I thought he was
had
just
games
inconsistent. There was times where I'm like, yeah, this dude clearly best guy on the field, and there was other times where I thought he
but
disappeared.
they had games where they played a little bit better competition, and I thought he showed up in every single one of those games. And then what he did at the Senior Bowl was just, or whatever bowl he was at, he showed that he was as good as everybody on that field. And that's what fucking I'm blanking on his name. We brought him up earlier. Quinyon Mitchell did. Quinyon Mitchell showed up to the Senior Bowl as a guy, just the cornerback from Toledo. Now it's time to prove that you can play with these elite level competition. Alexander didn't miss a step at the Senior Bowl, dude. He looked as good as everyone on that field.
But I think he's going to be a disruptor early on, and I think he can develop into an every down starter. Like I said, real fluid big man, outstanding body control, slips through gaps, moves well laterally. There was a play in the bowl game against Pitt where the quarterback drops back and Alexander, instead of pass rushing, steps back and starts hitting linebacker.
Yep.
58-yard touchdown interception. It was an incredible play.
That's one of my favorite things, dude.
Yeah.
I brought that up earlier. Like, if you're able to kick back in coverage, that's so valuable, dude.
Yep. He's scheme versatile, fights off blockers and double teams, good size. Like I said, I'm a little iffy on his competition level. I didn't think he dominated. He only had a single-digit career sacks over 59 games at Toledo. I think he plays a little upright at times. And then, like I said, consistency, game to game, play to play. Like, I also thought his motor was a little inconsistent. Like, there was times where I'm just like, he disappeared. But I thought he moved around too much, like too much dancing when he tries bull rushing instead of just using his force. But
He tries to get all fancy.
Yeah, it's not really his game.
It's not his game. Yeah,
he's not really a bull rusher. But like on the times where he was asked to bull rush, he was too tiptoey there. But I think he's a good player. I do. I'm just not in on him as a first round guy. I have him more as a borderline top 50 guy on my board. But he's a good football player. He's fun. I just liked Shamar Turner and TJ Sanders and Ty League a little bit more than him.
Yeah, I get it. I do get it.
They're same bucket players though.
Yeah,
they're going to all be real close on my top 100.
Oh yeah, for sure. He plays with legit power, strong hands, easily moves offensive linemen, destroys one-on-one blocks. But he does lose control of his body at time, inconsistent with anchoring. But he's shown that when he does get low, his base is really good. But like you said, his pads, I would say they're really inconsistent. Not just at times. When he plays high, he's really off balance. He can be moved around a little bit. But when he plays low, he will anchor the hell out of a defensive line. He does have ability. He does have a little bit of ability to get after the quarterback. Has some sneaky moves to win, but not a whole bunch of them. He has really good arm extension to move guys back in the pocket. He was one of the better guys that I found that he was fully getting his arms out, like full extension, moving guys back, and I love to see that. He doesn't have good, quick, short burst, I'll admit that. And like I said, his pad level is wildly inconsistent. It does get very high at some point, and he can be moved off balance. But dude, Alexander, that's very coachable. And once he gets his pad level straight out, I don't think he's leaving the field at all. I think he's a 3-down defensive lineman. He can play interior. He can play ulterior. You mentioned the play versus Pitt. He can kick back in coverage. Just to play zone, he's not going to play man, obviously. But he has the ability to just kick back there and watch the quarterback. And he took it to the house, dude. He's sneakily athletic. He went 58 yards.
He's
outran the whole Pitt's offense. He's got that dog in him, dog. Dog in him, dog. That was a very ironic statement. I love Alexander. I love his game. I think he has the ability to go in the first round. I don't think he's going to fall far out of that. I think he's a top 45 guy easily. I love Alexander's game.
Yeah, he's going to be right on the cusp of my top 50. But it's a good game. I really deep class. I just like the guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I get it. Like I have him at 8 or 9, and it's just not. It's not a it's on a bad 8 or 9. It is a good class. So,
Yeah, for sure.
all right. Kenneth Grant, Michigan. We both have him at 4. 6'3", 330, 10 and 1/8 inch hands.
How'd you feel about his tape, TJ?
I'll get to it. Let me get through the measurables here. 33.5 inch arms, almost 83 inch wingspan, 82 and 5/8.
Huge.
Ran a
Huge wingspan.
5.13 at his pro day, 1.710 yard split, 31 inch vert, 8 9 inch broad jump. For a guy who's claimed to be this freak athlete,
so everyone says,
I wanted more. He just looked like his athleticism looked just a step above a guy his size.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I see the athleticism, it's there, but his tape is probably some of the most inconsistent tape out of this whole group. Like his highs are up there with Mason Graham. He looks amazing at some points, but sometimes he just looks completely out of the play and he shouldn't even be out there. He's got weird tape, dude.
Yeah. So Kenneth Grant's thick, all caps, 2 C's.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
True nose tackle at the NFL level, but there were times where he did have the juice that I think it allows him to stay on the field on passing situations.
I agree.
But like I said, for someone who's touted as this freak athlete, I'm just not fully there in that regard. I wanted more. I like his ability to eat blocks. He's naturally powerful, physical, active hands, and I think he's got good footwork. I just think the athleticism isn't as advertised, and I worry about his conditioning. I thought there were times he got stopped way more often than he should have for someone that big. I think he's got great upside. And I know when we were doing mocks, I said, like, there might be buzz that this guy could be a top 10 pick. Like I said to Chicago, I thought that really made sense. I think he's more now 15 through 20 range.
It's cooled off. Yeah.
But I think he's got good upside. I just don't think he's got as much upside as, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon, and Mason Graham. But wide body lineman, thickness throughout, unique athlete for the most part. He absorbs double teams, pad levels right. Good swim move. He escapes blocks against the run, and he can win as a pass rusher at time. Natural power, obviously. Calm feet. And then he's got 10 combined pass breakups over the past 2 seasons, so he swats stuff down at the line of scrimmage. But he was weighing in at 350 pounds apparently this offseason, and you could see on tape, like, conditioning, not necessarily his best strong suit of his. Inconsistent hand placement at times as a run defender, exposes his chest, late to read blocks as well. So, and then there was times where I just thought he, like, stood up when he was
high.
Yeah. On passing downs, he was just standing instead of putting his hand in the dirt and trying to pull through. But
for a guy that's a nose tackle, his anchor and base is, like, not there. And that's what's really confusing about it.
Yeah.
He's like 330 pounds, but his base is like, you could push him over with wind at some points.
He plays like he wants to be a pass rusher.
Yes. For sure. So he's got really good power and length to destroy single blockers and has the ability to split double teams. Decent sack production in college, but I think the next level could be better with he works on his technique. But like I said, he struggles to anchor down. His base is sketchy. He plays way too high at times, leaving guys to be able to push him over. But what he ate, he's so weird, dude. He's so powerful and so quick, but he's a nose tackle. So I don't know how it's going to translate. I don't know if teams are going to ask him to rush the quarterback or if they're going to ask him to anchor down. If they're going to ask him to anchor down, he needs to completely work on that. He needs to be able to work on that base. He needs to work on his leg muscles and, like, explode through his get off.
Just let Robert Saleh get hold of this guy and unleash him. I think that's his best bet. go to San Francisco and
That's a little early for my liking.
I agree, but I think Robert Saleh is the guy who can completely unleash him as a prospect.
I agree. I think San Fran needs to get Robert Saleh something, dude. He's going back to an empty defensive line room at this point, dude. Who are these
guys? I know Nick Bosa.
It's Nick Bosa and no one else, dude. He left that team stacked and comes back and everyone left.
Yeah. All right. You want to talk about Walter Nolan or Derek Harmon?
Don't matter to me, dog. We can go Nolan.
All right, Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss, transfer out from Texas A&M. They had everybody.
For sure, dude.
6'3", 296 at the combine, 300 at the pro day. 9.5-inch hands, 33 and 3/8-inch arms, 80 and 1/8 wingspan. Didn't do any of the running drills. 27 bench reps for Walter Nolan. Insanely gifted athlete. I've brought up before. He was the number one prospect in his recruiting class, which included Travis Hunter. He's truly a bet on the traits prospect in my eyes. All the tools are there for him to be an impact player at the NFL level. It's just a matter of him consistently putting them together. He gives you versatility across the defensive line. Excellent first step and hand contact off the jump. However, he does leave his assignments a little early at times and doesn't follow through with his hands or his pass rush move. Strong, excellent body control and balance, incredible tackler. Wins with skill sometimes instead of technique. But if he could put everything together, finish plays, he's a top 15 guy easily in this class from a talent perspective.
Dude. Yep. Yeah, no, dude. He's got legit NFL size and frame. Explodes into offensive linemen. Has really good moves to win. Quick versus blocks. Could have really decent sack production at the next level. His hands are always moving, but sometimes they're not moving in the right direction. They're not moving. They're not swiping the right way. So he does need to clean up the way he moves his hands. But I love that he's always moving. His hands are always moving. His feet are always moving. He does not stop. He's got really clean power to move guys. I did find that if he doesn't get off blocks quicker, he does struggle versus guys. He does struggle to move guys. But he's got such a quick, explosive first step. He is so quick to get his hands on offensive linemen. Like you said, dude, his traits are through the roof. He just needs to put it all together. I would love if he would fall to like Detroit and just be able to work on a defensive line like that.
I think there's.
I think he goes way earlier than that, dude.
I don't know. I think he's going to be there at the back end of the first. I
think that's all like a smoke screen.
I truly believe he's going to end up in Philadelphia. I do.
I think there's a legitimate chance Graham, Nolan, Harmon, and Mason Graham, Grant, Nolan, and Harmon are all gone by like 22.
Okay.
I think all four of them could go very early in this draft.
Hate that at 24 for Minnesota. But his production profile, it's a testament to his need to work on his finishing skill. Like I noticed he doesn't finish plays all the time. Like I thought there was a ton of times where he could have had sacks, but he just didn't finish and follow through. Like he's always active. I have no problems with like how he moves and his motor, but like he's just missing the production to go with like when you're watching him, and if you would just look away, be like, oh, he got a sack. Oh, he made the tackle. But he didn't. Like I don't know if it was an awareness thing or what it was, but
I think it comes down to like a full body control thing. He doesn't really have.
Yeah, I've also noticed
his technique's rounded.
He reacts first, reads second. Like he does.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's a little out of position at times, but really strong tackler. He regains balance well to make the play when he can. His power to punch, to shove defenders. He's so strong, so physical at the point of attack. A leverage monster. I love his versatility. I think he could play edge as well. Like,
yeah,
in a pinch. Like I love his versatility. I love his game. I love his motor. It's the production's not there, but like I said, that's a lot in this class. Shamar Stewart, production's not there, but super traitsy, and that's Walter Nolan for me. And I'm going to buy in on his traits.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's one of the top trait guys just in the class in general. There's a lot of defensive ends, offensive linemen in general. They're just traits guys. Walter Nolan's up there with the best of them.
Yep.
I love that guy.
All right, Derek Harmon from Oregon. I have met 2. You have met 3. 6'4", 322 at his pro day, 313 at the combine. 10 and 1/8-inch hands, 34 3/8-inch arms, 84-inch wingspan. He ran a 4.95, 1.74, 10-yard split for Harmon. Derek Harmon, he's become one of my favorite players just throughout the draft cycle. I love his ability as a pass rusher from the interior. He's a disruptor in the backfield, high motor player. He does lack finishing, though, as there were times I wish he had gotten to the quarterback, but for whatever reason, he slowed up. Pass rush arsenal's there. It's just a matter of putting it together in a consistent basis for him. There were times that when the O-line got in his chest or he was double teamed, he was completely taken out of the play. Does play high at times, causing him limitations against stronger linemen. But I thought he had a good arm over swipe as a pass rusher. Good rip move to defeat blocks in the run defense and as a pass rusher as well. Good first step, explodes through gap. He's a penetrator. He illustrates good hand technique, stacks his blocks, fights pressure, squeezes the gap. He takes on blocks wide, good pad level, stays in the gap against double team combo blocks. Yeah, I really like Derek Harmon. He's going to be a top 15 player for me throughout the process. He is one of my ideal fits for Minnesota at 24. So I am in on Derek Harmon. I loved his tape.
I found that his finishing of plays was worse than Walter Nolan's. That was my main gripe with him. Like his ability to he just stops playing halfway through plays that he won. He won the block. He's good. He's good to go. And he just doesn't finish it. It's very weird. But he's got a fantastic base, really good size and length to just clog up lanes, eat up double teams, make it easier for guys around him to get production. Once he's moving, he can really hit a gap and he closes the hole. Excuse me. Inconsistency with finishing plays that he won, so he should be getting the stats for it. His hip flexibility is kind of sketchy to me. His footwork needs to be cleaned around the line. And I did not like his pads, but I thought that was because of his hips. I think his hip flexibility is keeping him upright. He just needs to be a little bit more more flexible. And I think that's why I have Walter Nolan just a little bit more above him. Walter Nolan's just a cleaner rusher, but Harmon does sit on the line a little bit better than Nolan does. So like they're give and takes. I love both guys though. I think they're both going to go very early in the draft. Even Grant's going to go very early.
Yeah, I think Harmon's the best pass rushing interior guy in the draft. He had 55 pressures last year, which was 12 more than the next interior guy. Are you concerned about his conditioning? I know at Michigan State before he transferred to Oregon, he showed up at 350 pounds, and he's dropped down to 313, 322 at his pro day.
I wouldn't say it's a huge red flag, but if his weight does get out of control, though, he just needs to be watched. He needs to be on some type of schedule or diet. But obviously, he found something that works for him. He's dropped a ton of weight. That's a hard thing to do, dude. So if he's out here grinding, you love to see the work ethic.
Yeah. All right. Mason Graham, number one.
Oof.
Defensive tackle for both of us. 6'3", 296 at the combine. He did weigh in at 306 pounds at the pro day, so you love to see that. I don't think he plays at 306. I don't even know if he plays at 296. It does look a little... 9 1/8 inch hands, 32-inch arms, 78.5-inch wingspan. Didn't do anything besides the bench reps, which he had 24 at 250. But
you think he's a blue chip prospect?
He is going to be top 5 on my big board. The first line I have on my report is, while it may not be cool to consider Mason Graham a blue chip prospect, he's still one of the few in this class. He might not win the vibe check off the bus. He's got this weird hair. He's just got a weird look in general, but he brings this spark to the defensive line. He's really quick off the snap. He's got a really good motor, power, strength. He lines up all across the line. Despite the jump off the snap, his pass rush consistency isn't great, but I think there's room for him to improve as a pass rusher. Sure, it wasn't there. Like, he didn't get these production numbers at Michigan, but he's got smaller arms. He plays high, so he does lose at time. But his blend of production, athleticism, power, size, to me, he's a coveted prospect in this class. I like his feet. I think as a pass rusher, he's got good enough moves that I think he can continue to develop. He plays heavy, he plays violent. His hands are dynamic. He eats up blocks. He's got good range and hustle. He's a tackling machine. I also noticed he was calling out schemes pre-snap. Like, he's such a high IQ football player. I'm not buying into all this stuff. Like again, he's got short, stubby arms.
I don't care.
He's got a weird build. Like Iziak, like I said, I don't think he plays at 296, but I don't care. He is a finisher, and like I just think he is the cleanest interior prospect. He's top 5 on my board. I just think he is that good.
I don't know what prospect it was in this class, but one of them was interviewed about having shorter arms. And he goes, I've had shorter arms my whole life. I know how to use them.
Yeah.
And that translates to Mason Graham.
Like, I have short arms.
It's not like he showed up to the combine, measured in, and he goes, what the heck? I lost 4 inches on my arm. He's had short arms his whole life. He knows how to win with short arms. I do not care. His first step is unmatched. He has shorter arms than most linemen.
Barron, who
was it Jay Barron?
Yeah.
Great quote.
Yeah.
But his arms might be shorter, but his arms are on you quicker than you get your arms on him. So it doesn't matter. And the leverage he plays at and his explosiveness, he drives dudes way bigger than him back. And it's amazing to watch. Did you notice they let him stand up sometimes on third down?
Yeah. Yeah.
What defensive tackle is playing standing up? Like, he's so athletic. That's a huge red flag, because like, if a defensive tackle's standing up, it's so easy to run on that, because there's no way he's moving sideline to sideline. Mason Graham covers sideline to sideline like a freaking linebacker, dude. Yeah. It's not even he stands up on third down to rush the quarterback because he's so gifted at moving and flexibility. He's so fluid. His first step is unmatched, quick off the line, hits guys fast, great football instincts. He's compact, he's thick, he knows how to use it. He is very iPad shaped. He uses leverage and body control to shed blocks like I've never seen. I get he doesn't have great arm length to move guys back, but he is so gifted everywhere else. I do not care about this guy's measurables. He is that dude. Like, sure, if we look back at this draft class from 5 years from now, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon, or even Grant might all have better quote-for-quote stats than Mason Graham. But I can tell you Mason Graham is making more of an impact on that stat sheet than he's ever going to be given credit for, dude. I get he doesn't finish the plays for like stacks because that's his short arms. He can't really get to the quarterback, but he is disrupting the quarterback almost every single play by breaking down the pocket. There's not much of Mason Graham's game that I do not like. I love this kid.
I can tell you if he was able to come out last year, he would have been in my top 10 last year.
I mean, last year's class was so offensive heavy. He probably would have been my second defensive player behind Coop.
So I had Coop at 8, and I had Johnny Newton at 10. I love Johnny Newton. Mason Graham's tape is way better. Newton. So, and I would have him over Troy Fatanu, who I had at 9. So at worst, he would have been 9th on my big board last year. He is a blue chip prospect. He is a top 5 guy in this class. I'm not batting on that, and I think he's good. If he does fall because of whatever reasons, measurables, whatnot,
he's not falling on the top 10.
He's not falling past 6. The Raiders will take him. He is true. If the Raiders
don't take him, the Jets would take it. He's going to go early as hell in this draft. And if he does end up slipping, it's because there's some type of weird offensive lineman run where like Campbell and Membu both go because they both think they're tackles, or Shador somehow slips into the top 5. I don't think that's going to happen. I've seen a mock today where Jackson Dart went 9 before Sanders. Or
Jalen Walker, freak athlete. Maybe someone values his traits and he goes top 5 and Mason Graham falls out. There's a realm. He's a defensive tackle. It's not a true blue. You know.
Well, it also depends on like what you. He's always mocked to Jacksonville at 5, but if Jacksonville likes Jalen Walker a little bit more, yes, that's just what they want. If you get Walker, you can slide out all of your defensive ends, put him inside, put him outside. That gives a lot of versatility to Jacksonville's defensive line, with Walker over Graham. But Graham going 5 to Jacksonville, I doubt he goes 4 to New England now with them adding so many defensive tackles and free agents. But I think Jacksonville starts his ceiling or starts his window, and I think it's only a couple picks after that. His window's like 4 or 5 picks.
The window.
Yeah.
That's 7.
Exactly, yeah.
San Francisco, if he falls, though, I think the Niners got to be trying to trade up. Get Robert Saleh with him. I think that's what they need. All right, interior guys, fit. Defensive linemen in the books. Quick recap. At 15, I have J.J. Pegues, Ole Miss. Jamari Caldwell, Oregon at 14. Jordan Phillips, Maryland at 13. C.J. West, Indiana at 12. Joshua Farmer, Florida State at 11. Alfred Collins, Texas at 10. Darius Alexander, Toledo at 9. Omar Norman-Lott, Tennessee at 8. T.J. Sanders, South Carolina 7. Shamar Turner, Texas A&M 6. Top 5, Tyleik Williams, Ohio State. Kenneth Grant, Michigan. Walter Nolan, Ole Miss. Derek Harmon, Oregon. And then obviously number 1, Mason Graham, Michigan.
Hell yeah, as he should be. Top 15, Deion Walker, Kentucky, 15. 14, Jordan Phillips, Maryland. 13, Jamar Cardwell, Oregon. 12, Tyrone Ingram-Dawkins, Georgia. 11, Joshua Farmer, Florida State. 10, Alfred Collins, Texas. 9, Omar Norman-Lott, Tennessee. 8, Shamar Turner, Texas A&M. 7, Tyleik Williams, Ohio State. 6, T.J. Sanders, South Carolina. Top 5, Darius Alexander, Toledo at 5. Kenneth Grant, Michigan at 4. Derek Harmon, Oregon. 3, Walter Nolan, Ole Miss 2. Mason Graham, Michigan at 1, dude, as he should be.
Kudos to us for not calling Shamar Turner Shamar Stewart once in that episode.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Hell yeah. I get those two mixed up all the time.
Same school, same style player. Yeah, I get it. There we go. Interior defensive lineman in the books. We have one more Couch Scout episode to do in his edge rusher. Maybe we'll do top 20, top 15 at worst, and we'll just give you our 5 after that. We'll see come recording day. If you're still here, like the show, subscribe to the show, put on notifications.
We appreciate you
episodes come out. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Search Drafted Up Podcast. We'll be there. Follow us over on socials at DraftedUp_pod. And then support our friends over at Dubby. Get a nice 10% discount. Use code DraftedUp. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Adios.
Dude, less than 2 weeks, baby, after the recording. Ooh, we are home stretch, baby. Draft time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.